If you're thinking about getting into caravanning, one of the biggest questions you probably have is this: how much does it actually cost? And if I'm being honest, this is something I wondered about a lot before I really got into it. Because you hear different things. Some people say it's cheap, some people say it's expensive, some people say you save money, others say it costs more than you expect. And the truth is, all of those can be right depending on how you do it. So in this video, I'm going to break this down in a simple, realistic way so you can understand what caravanning actually costs in Australia. No fluff, no guessing, just real, practical insight. Now let's start with the first big cost, and that's your setup. Because before you even go on your first trip, there's usually some kind of upfront cost: your caravan, your vehicle, basic gear. And this is where the biggest variation happens, because you can spend a little or you can spend a lot. I remember realizing early on that there's no single price for caravanning. It depends on your choices. You might start with a simple setup or you might go all in. But here's the key thing to understand. Your upfront cost is not what defines your ongoing experience, because once you're set up, the real question becomes this: what does it cost to actually travel? And that's where things start to become more practical. Now let's move into one of the biggest ongoing costs, and that's fuel. Because no matter how you travel, fuel is going to be a major part of your budget. I remember noticing this straight away. When you're towing a caravan, your fuel consumption increases. You're carrying more weight, your vehicle is working harder, and that naturally uses more fuel. And this is something you need to factor in, because longer trips, heavier setups, and higher speeds all increase your fuel use. But here's the important part: fuel costs are flexible because they depend on how far you travel, how often you move, and how you plan your trips. I remember learning that slower travel, staying longer in one place, and planning routes properly can make a big difference. Now let's move into your next major cost, and that's accommodation. And this is where caravanning becomes really interesting, because unlike traditional travel, you have options: caravan parks, free camping, low-cost camps, and each one changes your total cost. I remember noticing how much this affected my spending. Staying in caravan parks regularly adds up, but mixing in free camping can reduce your costs significantly. So your accommodation cost is not fixed. It's something you control. Now let's talk about food, because this is something people often overlook. When you're caravanning, you're not eating out as much. You're cooking more, and that can actually save you money. I remember realizing that simple meals, cooking in the caravan, and planning food properly made a big difference. But at the same time, it depends on your choices. If you eat out often, your costs go up. If you cook more, your costs go down. Now let's talk about something else that adds up over time, and that's maintenance. Because caravanning is not just about travel, it's also about keeping your setup in good condition. Tires, servicing, small repairs. I remember learning that staying on top of maintenance prevents bigger costs later. So this is something you need to factor in, not as a constant cost, but as something that comes up over time. Now here's the key idea for this first part. Caravanning costs are not fixed. They're flexible, and that's what makes this lifestyle unique, because you have control over how much you spend. And once you understand that, everything becomes much clearer. Now that we've covered your main ongoing costs, like fuel, accommodation, food, and maintenance, this is where we go a little deeper, because there are some additional costs that don't always get talked about, but they still make a difference over time. And this is where a lot of beginners either underestimate things or just don't think about them at all. I remember being in that position early on, focusing on the obvious costs, but not really considering the smaller ones that slowly add up. So let's break these down. First, let's talk about insurance. Because if you've got a caravan and a tow vehicle, insurance is something you need to factor in. And while it's not something you think about every day, it's part of your overall cost. I remember seeing this as more of a protection cost than a travel cost because it's there to cover you if something goes wrong. Now let's talk about registration. Both your vehicle and your caravan need to be registered. And again, this is not something you pay per trip, but it's part of the bigger picture. So when you think about caravanning costs, it's worth including these fixed yearly costs. Now let's talk about something that can vary a lot, and that's campsite extras, things like powered sites, premium locations, park facilities, or even things like laundry. I remember noticing that while some nights were cheap, others added up quickly depending on where I stayed. So this is another flexible cost. Now let's talk about gear upgrades because this is something that happens naturally over time. You start with the basics and then you realize maybe I want this to make things easier or that to improve comfort. I remember gradually adding things over time, not all at once, but as I learned what I actually needed. And this is important because you don't need everything from day one. You build your setup as you go. Now let's talk about something people don't always consider, and that's travel style. Because how you travel affects your costs more than anything else. Fast travel, moving every day, staying in caravan parks, eating out often, that increases your costs. Slow travel, staying longer in one place, mixing in free camping, cooking your own meals, that reduces your costs. I remember realizing this was one of the biggest factors. Not the caravan, not the vehicle, but how I chose to travel. Now let's talk about something important, expectations. Because a lot of people go into caravanning thinking it will either be very cheap or very expensive. But the reality is it sits somewhere in between, depending on your choices. I remember adjusting my expectations as I gained experience, understanding that I had control over my costs, and that made everything feel more manageable. Now, here's the key idea from this part. Caravanning is not one fixed cost. It's a flexible lifestyle, and your decisions shape your expenses. And once you understand that, you can make choices that suit your budget and your goals. Now that we've broken down all the different types of costs, this is where everything really starts to come together because we're going to talk about what caravanning actually looks like in real life depending on how you choose to travel. Because this is where a lot of confusion comes from. People try to put a single number on caravanning, but that doesn't really work because there are different ways to do it, and each one comes with a different cost. I remember realizing this over time, seeing how my costs changed depending on how I traveled. So let's look at a few simple examples. First, let's talk about a low-cost style of caravanning. This is where you travel slower, stay longer in each place, and use a mix of free camping and low-cost sites. You cook most of your meals, you plan your fuel usage, and you keep things simple. I remember doing trips like this and noticing how much more affordable everything felt. Because you're not moving as often, your fuel costs stay lower. And by using free camping, your accommodation costs drop significantly. Now let's talk about a mid-range style. This is probably where most people sit. A mix of caravan parks and free camping. Some eating out, some cooking, moderate travel pace. I remember this being a good balance, comfort and convenience without pushing costs too high. Now let's talk about a higher cost style. This is where you stay mostly in caravan parks, travel frequently, eat out more often, and use more paid services. And while this can be a great experience, it does increase your overall cost. I remember noticing this difference very clearly when I compared different trips. Same setup, different travel style, very different costs. Now here's the important part. None of these are right or wrong. They're just different ways to travel. And the best option is the one that suits you. Now let's talk about something that helps a lot, budgeting. because once you understand your style, you can plan your costs more effectively. I remember starting to think in terms of weekly or trip based budgets, fuel, accommodation, food, and that gave me a clearer picture. Now, let's talk about something that really simplifies everything: tracking your expenses. You don't need anything complicated. Just being aware of what you're spending, because once you see where your money goes, you can adjust. I remember doing this and realizing where I could save and where I didn't mind spending more. Now, here's something important: caravanning is not about being as cheap as possible, it's about finding a balance between cost, comfort, and experience. Because at the end of the day, you're doing this to enjoy it. Now, here's the key idea: your cost depends on your choices. And once you understand that, you're no longer guessing, you're in control. And that's what makes this lifestyle work. Now, as we bring everything together, I want to leave you with something that will make this whole topic feel simple and clear. Because at the beginning, caravanning costs can feel confusing, but once you understand how it actually works, it becomes much easier to manage. I remember when I first started trying to figure out a single number. How much does caravanning cost? But over time, I realized that's not really the right question, because there isn't one number, there's a range. And that range depends on you, your setup, your travel style, your choices. Now let's bring it back to the basics. You've got your upfront costs, your caravan, your vehicle, your initial gear. Then you've got your ongoing costs: fuel, accommodation, food, maintenance. And then you've got your flexible costs: how you travel, where you stay, what you choose to spend. And once you see it this way, everything becomes much clearer, because you're not trying to guess, you're understanding. Now let's talk about confidence again, because this is what all of this leads to. At the beginning, uncertainty creates hesitation, but once you understand the costs, you feel more in control. You can plan better, you can budget better, and you can make decisions that suit your lifestyle. Now, here's something important: caravanning is not about doing it the cheapest way possible, and it's not about spending as much as possible either. It's about finding your balance, the balance between cost, comfort, and experience, because that's what makes it sustainable. Now, here's something I want you to really take in. You don't need to have everything figured out before you start. You don't need the perfect budget. You don't need to know every cost. You just need to understand the basics and then adjust as you go. Because every trip teaches you something. Every experience helps you refine your approach. And that's how you build a system that works for you. I still remember the moment where it all started to make sense, when I stopped trying to find exact numbers and started understanding how the costs actually worked. And that's what I want for you: clarity, confidence, control. So if you're thinking about caravanning, or you've just started, keep it simple. Understand the main costs. Be aware of your choices and build your experience over time, because once you do that, everything becomes much easier. And if you want more simple, practical caravanning advice like this, make sure you hit subscribe, because I'll be helping you every step of the way.